versus Vega Squadron. Alliance up 1-0 here in this best of 3. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Tsunami once again. We got the Summit 7 European qualifiers. And the winner of this series moves on to the playoffs. The loser going to be going down to the losers bracket down there. So looking forward to seeing how this shapes up here. And we got a Skywrath mage, another kind of Alliance somewhat signature hero. I know Hanskin actually, plays this a fair amount as well. So, although somewhat unique.
Yeah, they've been running this hero occasionally, again, to mixed success, but it's definitely, I have to continually give props to Alliance for the fact that they are pursuing heroes that no other team seems to care about for various reasons, and Vega Squadron may prove why, as they go in for a Lifestealer, a hero that definitely does not care about a large majority of Skywrath and what he has to offer, but that also comes down to initiation. Sometimes if Clockwork can manage to get a good hook shot and then Skywrath follows up with the silence, then all of a sudden Cogs becomes a kill box with the Mystic Flare. But, whenever I see off-meta heroes, I have to put more effort into justifying it because they're off-meta for a reason, because they just are not able to, find the same advantages that you need in how the game plays out or how popular heroes are playing out. But yeah, Alliance take it early on. It's a hero that has some risks taking early on because you do get heroes like Lifestealer who are spell immune, or you get a lot of heroes that, don't care about being silenced, or heroes that have magic resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if Vega Squadron pick up a Rubik or something like that. I don't know if they enjoy playing Rubik, but there's a lot of options whenever you see a Skywrath come out.
Yeah, you already talked about with the Lifestealer kind of in response to Sword. So it's going to be interesting to see how Alliance kind of flows from here with their draft. But the other side of it, too, not that they want to lose by any means, but they do have that kind of that leeway now of being up 1-0. At the very least here in a best of 3. But we got fourth band to come for Vega Squadron. And then into the next tier of picks, we have a Slaughter Abaddon coming out from Alliance to go with the Treant and Terrorblade initially. Magnus, Io, Shadow Fiend. And now we'll see what that fourth one is. I know TA was a ban last time, and Limp especially. Just like so many players lately. I mean, I feel like TA was one of the most explosive heroes at the Kiev Major, with how well he did, and so many different hands there. So
yeah, no one VP was definitely putting a clinic on though for the most part. And of the heroes that people are theorizing that get nerfed in 7.06, I know that TA is definitely high on people's lists, but until then, you just need to either figure out a way to deal with it or just ban it out, and it looks like Alliance don't really care too much to do anything about it, and TA is one of the heroes that also can do well against Skywrath mid, because Skywrath usually likes having to help out his mid lane by just dumping a bunch of Mystic Flares on the enemy mid and securing a lot of early damage and forcing the enemy mid to burn through early regen, but if you have Refraction, then you can just pop that before Mystic Flare. Skywrath burns through all of his mana, and you're pretty much unaffected for the most part as a Templar.
1 minute remaining of extra time, so dive into that quite a bit, figuring what they want to match up now with.
Ursa Warrior.
They're going to get Ursa as a one position here, so yeah, Loda Ursa. Not one I feel like we've seen Loda play a lot, at least. Not up there with his typical.
I guess because Troll was banned out and they want one of the traditional counters to Lifestealer, so if you can't get Troll, might as well go for Ursa, I suppose. And Ursa, definitely one of the heroes that everyone has considered to be the go-to against Lifestealer, and with good reason. But you kind of need someone to enable Ursa to pull that off. And while Clockwork is kind of good, the problem is that Cogs will kind of keep Ursa out, but that's pre-Blink Dagger. After Ursa completes a Blink Dagger, then Lifestealer is free food inside of a Cog. But Vega Squadron go for a Kanka, another hero that isn't seen too frequently, especially in the Western scene. More typically favored in Eastern Dota, but
yeah, I was actually thinking something along the lines of the Earth Spirit. We saw the ban last game, and Seema I know plays a great one, but they're gonna go to Kanka as you talked about, and that's going to be interesting to see how that works out against Atlanta. Maybe, I don't know, I was trying to think of some ideas with it, but I don't know, the X marks the spot, as usual, can come into play. And of course, that Ghost Ship is a valuable tool. They do have the freeze to set up an easy torrent combo, so that there are things here that kind of make sense, but Yeah, definitely not your traditional kind of 4 position. At least that's what we expect it's going to be. I guess the mid Kunkka isn't 100% out of the question, but
That would lose my mind if it's mid Kunkka. That would be
yeah.
amazing. I haven't seen a damage dealing Kunkka in a long time, and with good reason. The hero is not really. That's not his strength anymore. But yeah, I mean, like, Earth Spirit was one possibility. The other thing I'm thinking is, like, what is Kunkka offering that, say, a Monkey King wouldn't be offering? It is, like, typically you think about the X Torrent setup, but nothing that Vega Squadron has picked yet, and Templar Assassin doesn't really follow up with any potential X Torrent combos, but TA is, picking TA into an Enigma, actually, is surprising.
Why is that?
Well, you've got to deal with all the, Midnight Pulse basically just like obliterates your refraction, and there's no way, like, Midnight Pulse is massive. There's no way you can't be in it in a team fight. And, TA is great against Ursa because most of the time you're be able to refract, and Fury Swipes will still add up, but at least you won't be taking damage initially during the refraction. I don't know. Is TA, I mean, like, it seems like the justification that I gave earlier that against Skywrath you're pretty safe, but mid to late game, this TA is going to have like a real hell of a time, because even Clockwork initiation is an issue, because Clockwork hookshot cogs and then blade mail, and TA will just like kill herself pretty much. And so she'll be comfortable mid, but after the laning phase, she's going to have a tough time, I imagine. But if they get good setups with these Kunkka X Torrents and Matt Rider, then maybe team fights won't even be that much of an issue. Don't fight Enigma where he's strongest. Fight him where he's weakest, which is in 1v1 engagements or gank attempts and stuff like that.
Or something like LC could, I know that means Clockwork could probably be more of a 4 position, but LC, they'll purge against Batrider, could ideally be strong and just having it as a solid offlaner as well. But 4 position is what you'd think they're going to go for. Whoa.
Wait, mid Skywrath?
So it is going to be a...
Oh no, mid Ursa. Okay.
So they're just kind of swapping that around. Okay, and wow, why did I think? Okay, they need a middle. That makes sense for some reason. Coming up, Grubber. So yeah, it's going to be a mid Ursa instead, and Slark's going to be in the safe line. Okay. So it is going to be a support Clockwork though. So I guess that's kind of the other thing that was I didn't really think about too much. All right, so Enigma.
Yeah, because I was imagining that Enigma was going to be in the jungle, and it was going to be like a off lane Clockwork, which I guess wouldn't really have any potential for mid Skywrath. Damn, I had it in the back of my head, and I was like, dude, what if they do it? That would be amazing. But yeah, no, they're not.
No, we've seen Enigma instead, much more in the off lane, to be fair, as well. Yeah, when he has been picked up lately,
true.
So that makes a lot more sense. For some reason, that just didn't register.
5 seconds remaining.
Off the bat there, but
wires crossed.
Well, Sark, is a good hero against Batrider though. In response.
Yeah, definitely. And the whole Alliance draft is like all their heroes are good at dealing with each of Vega Squadron's individual heroes, because Frostbite going to be pretty much ineffective against Slark and Ursa, because Ursa can enrage it off, Slark can Dark Pact it off, and the Batrider will also have issues finding heroes to go on, especially if Ursa does go for an Aghanim Scepter, which isn't guaranteed, but sometimes if you are against a Batrider, then you consider it to be a little bit more of a priority. And I guess there isn't really that much else worth purging off, but yeah, I'm interested to see how effective the Skywrath is, because mid lane, you can force the TA to have to waste a bunch of mana on refraction to just for defensive purposes, but she keeps her damage buff even after the shield wears off, so I'm curious to see how EGM will be spending his time mid.
Yeah.
Or just in general.
We got Hanskin up here, gets up here ASAP. Gets that ward down to block. And now he's already rotating over to the middle lane, has another ward to place. Or maybe just get some information as to what they're planning to do. He's gonna expose the smoke right here, yeah. Good heads up. And he'll just walk it off. But if anything else, it might make them think that he placed a ward in that area. So I wonder, that's where the mind games kind of come into play. Can they maybe scout out where this ward is? Kunkka does have the sentry, but it's in a completely other spot. So, yeah, unless they somehow pick up on that, unless they wait for the 30-second mark and then see. It's probably going to be a successful ward there. Enigma is shaping up to be in the offlane. He's actually going the boots first. So I know, seen some Enigmas. We've seen some get the Blightstone even, or the Iron Talon, or in this case going the boots first. He's showing us a fan.
So he's definitely planning on staying in the lane. Crystal Maiden is not the best at contesting the jungle, so it is a little bit surprising to me that he's not going exclusive jungle, because chances are he'll be able to farm faster. Oh, Torrent. Oh man, Kunkka successfully steals that rune.
Well played.
Alright, well, Kunkka pick is obviously, I'm already confident in it.
Yeah, successful right there. Well played by Seema. And where is Enigma? He's denying the middle
chilling.
lane.
He's gonna shrine up.
And he's going to
let his Eidolons deal some damage on this first camp. So maybe we'll hit level 2 and then start moving around, but still, like, even then, you would probably go for the Blightstone first, or the Iron Talon, but, you know, we'll see. We'll keep my eye on Jonas and Finn.
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, middle matchup is Ursa versus TA, and it seems like Ursa is fairly decent in this. Potentially, at least, if it's true 1v1 at least. But that's probably not going to be the case. Kunkka's doing a lot of roaming. I assume that could be
I'd
some
get the
pressure.
Courier. He has boots, and no one really expects a Kunkka to snipe things out, but he shows himself. He's going to just straight invade Enigma's jungle. He discovered that Enigma wasn't in the secondary jungle, sees what's going on now, and Enigma doesn't want to have to really lose these Eidolons, so he's just going to continue attacking. Maybe we'll wait to kill a creep, but Sioma's kind of dancing around here.
Middle lane though, 6 and 2. Ursa
Oh my god, does he know where the Courier is?
He's trying to get it, man. He's taking some tower damage now though, and he could be in some trouble. He's going to back off. You'll see Hanskin coming up, and the Torrent says hello.
Oh right, they had this ward, so he probably saw it loop in, didn't see it emerge out of the trees, and was like, I'm gonna go for this. Doesn't work out. Sioma's still 0 points of experience.
Bottom lane, first blood potential right here. Dark Pact is ready. Afterlife just trying to cut through the trees. No Firefly yet. It's still level 1. Going for the TP. It's not going to be enough, though. First blood in favor of EGM on that Skywrath. Using that Arcane Bolt to finish the job.
Yeah, Bad Rider actually opted for early Windlace instead of a stick. Most likely was not expecting this Arcane Bolt harass from EGM this early on. And like similarly, I was expecting it more on the TA, but they get the kill, successful first blood, and it goes the way of the Skywrath. And so, yeah, he gets a very early boots right now, and that just helps his roaming potential so much more. And if he gets this Arcane Rune, that would be great.
Oh, yeah. Hanskin's kind of leeching experience up here at the top lane now. They see him with the Observer Ward, but it's almost like he's turning into an off-lane Clockwork, because, again, Jonas Van is sure enough jungling. Despite going the boots first, that's almost odd to see, like we were talking about. But at the same time, it does give him more movement in the jungle itself to go from camp to camp. So you can argue there, that's where it's beneficial. But as far as actually killing the creeps,
yeah, you're still like Enigma the hero doesn't really matter. Your Eidolon's move speed is the main thing that matters. And so maybe he was just concerned about Kunkka or Crystal Maiden like roaming into this jungle, and then like he's kind of screwed if one of them finds him if he doesn't have boots because he's just so slow. But yeah, I'm still surprised. I mean, he's going to be getting just fine farm. He's hit level 3. He's out-leveling the Kunkka by a pretty healthy margin, and keeping pace with the Crystal Maiden, who has also been spending a lot of time in the jungle of her own. So it's fine going for the boots. It's safer, but kind of slows down your farm.
Yeah.
Oh, and EGM does get that Arcane Rune, so he's just going to be going bananas on this Bat Rider.
He's looking to hunt him down over here. You got Bat Rider. Obviously, they see one another, and EGM
he misses the slow.
Willing to take it, but yeah, he's gonna have to fall back from here. So takes a little bit of pressure. Middle lane though, they're smoked up. They want to kill a Limp. Can they land the torrent? Slow comes out. Freeze. No, not gonna get it off. He'll miss the torrent. And now Hanskin actually in the back line's coming in. EGM running in with that Arcane Rune as we mentioned, spamming everything he has, and down goes Kunkka actually. Now TA, he's trying to run. No refractions up. He's going to be run down, in fact. And Limp gets a double kill out of it. The Malphus also from Enigma assisting right there. Afterlife is here on Bat Rider, but only level 2. Good response from Alliance.
Yeah, Hanskin coming in to start that fight was critical. They definitely thought... there was really no reason for Vega Squadron to play that aggressive. Even if you do land the Torrent, TA doesn't have any points in Meld, and Ursa is a very, very tanky hero. Has a full poor man's shield and 7 armor, just without any tower armor or anything like that. So, yeah, they move quite aggressively. Obviously, you're not expecting that heavy of a rotation coming in from Alliance, but you saw the Skywrath harassing Batrider with that Arcane Rune, you'd think you'd play a little bit conservatively, but Vega Squadron get punished.
This Enigma, he's going right into the hand of Midas. He has nearly 1,300 gold saved up, so he's at a pretty good rate. I mean, at this rate, you figure what, by 7-8 minutes at the most, he's going to have it actually, so as long as he keeps it up.
And wow, a Lifestealer manages to bring that tower into deny range.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the real you was pushing so aggressively. He didn't even have anything like a Blightstone, but his tower goes down super fast, 5 minutes in. And this isn't like a Terrorblade or, you know, Drow Ranger or any of those other typical, like, if you leave me alone, I'm going to take your tower. It was a Lifestealer, and so a lot of space is consumed now. Sioma, Hanskin fighting each other.
But they are. Anyone's going to come out on top. It's Hanskin with that battery assault level 2. It does so much. He needs to put him back. Not in time. Hex marks the spot. Pulls him back after the fact. Now goes Simo. So, good find by Hanskin, and a 4-for-0 start in favor of Alliance here as far as hero kills. But, I mean, you're right. Lifestealer is, meanwhile, free farming, and as we stressed, already pushing that tower in even though it got denied. The fact that it's dead is impressive nonetheless. He's working on that very early armlet. You know, sometimes we'll see Lifestealers. Maybe it's a player preference, but perhaps go the hand of Midas in cases like this. But yeah, he's just going to get that armlet, ready to fight. Kunkka again found by the Clockwork. Man, that has to be frustrating. It's fine this time.
Now the real you wants something. He knows that cogs are down.
Oh,
Straight TP out. Torrent's not up.
I'm watching Batrider now, actually trying to get away. And Slark, actually, he missed the pounce. It was a very difficult one to land, to be fair. Just over the ledge, a max distance, so does TP out in time, meanwhile, at the bottom. But now he's out, and back to farm goes Loda.
Yeah, Loda's keeping pace. It's not too far behind. You have to keep in mind that Vega Squadron have a tower advantage already, and so that's why Lifestealer's net worth is looking pretty juicy right now. But, you know, Loda's been having to contest this Batrider, whereas Alliance have this Enigma basically getting free farm, working on the Midas, as you said, bought the recipe outright, and basically has the Glove of Haste money in around like 20 more seconds. So yeah, Jonas sometimes on a good pace. The question is that what do you go for as an Enigma after the Midas? Do you want to be more push/teamfight oriented in the fact that you want to sustain with like a Greaves or just, you know, the mech, or do you want to go aggressive with the Blink Dagger? And I don't really think that Jonas and Fam can get away with a Blink Dagger at this game because you have to worry about Torrent, and Torrent is like massive range, and you're never going to be able to like dodge a Torrent if you go into Black Hole. Sioma will just be holding onto it. Meanwhile, mid lane limp.
Yeah.
Purges off the Frostbite.
He's going to force out a rage. Actually, we'll dodge the Torrent as a result because he went back in. X marks the spot. Going to bring him back, but here comes that support now. Hanskin. He's not level 6 still, so no hook shot threat, and they'll be able to back it off. But yeah, that is kind of interesting because honestly, I'm looking at this dire lineup, and it doesn't scream one that's like, oh my god, Enigma's not going to get any black holes off. It's not the greatest. Now, as you pointed out, Torrent with the range is definitely dangerous, but outside of that, there's not a lot to be worried about. In fact, both cores can't do anything, of course, on the Lifestealer or the TA for that matter. So I could see it going either way, but yeah, I mean, the idea that Guardian Greaves getting those Arcane Boots first and eventually the Guardian Greaves ASAP could potentially be the route that they decide to go. If anything, with Ursa and the active start that he's looking to have, perhaps don't need the blink also on Enigma, you could argue. So
yeah, the fact that Sioma is kind of like he's pretty far behind. He's only level 3. It seems like he's been doing a lot of work, but you need to also get experience while you're going from lane to lane. If Kunkka was getting lots of levels, then I would definitely be against the Blink Dagger because, like, yeah, Torrent is one thing, but then like you can just also just save the X and just cast X twice on Enigma while he's black holing and then instantly gone. And so Kunkka's never going to be deep into a fight, and obviously, you know, the Ghost Ship as well. These are all million range spells that you are going to be able to initiate with if you know, find a good opportunity, but you also be able to counter initiate if Enigma decides to go in on your team. And so yeah, plus the way that Alliance are playing, like they're not playing aggressively at all. Yet the fact that they have the 4-kill advantage, it's just by product of Vega Squadron playing a little bit over aggressively, but Alliance has just been chilling in all of their lanes.
yeah, that's true. I mean, Stark especially, he's just having a good time down here. He sees, once again, applying pressure to the tower, but Batrider's here. But again, Batrider level 5, no lasso threat just yet, and even if he did, we mentioned with Slark, at Dark Pact, he's not really overall concerned about it. And he's continuing to go away here. He's getting a lot of farm item build up early on in this game. I mean, with the Iron Talon, has the Ring of Basilius here, so definitely not looking to rush that Shadow Blade or whatever the item may be here.
Nope.
On Slark. As Vlad's is going to be the first item, though, finish on Ursa, and I think he... Yeah, oh, he has 15... Actually, he's changing. Okay, that's what it is. He's going to Blink now next, so never mind.
Someone needs to be a mid-game force, and seeing as how Slark is kind of not really, like you said, going straight into that Shadow Blade right off the bat, he's going for more mid or early game survivability and early game damage items. Same thing with Enigma, he's not really going aggressive yet, hasn't really left his jungle, in fact he's just been, okay, I say that, and now they smoke up. Hanskin has hookshot, so they might go for something. They think that TA is in the pit, and the smoke does not pop, so they confirm that she's not in the pit.
Top lane.
Now you want to go on to the Lifestealer.
Or cut back here. Go for Crystal Maiden. That's more of a free kill. They try to smoke out themselves. Going to run right into it. No, Kunkka doesn't. From a distance, he is exposed. But yeah, Crystal Maiden's going to get picked off. The Cock's going to block it out. Ursa, Black Hole's ready. If he can find a positioning for it, he knows that Seema, though, doing a good job of staying out of range. Gets pulled back in, and down goes Enigma. Here comes Batrider now. TA also here. Poured out from Hanskin. He is going to be fine, but now Ursa's pulled up to the cliff. Popsy in a rage, and Torrent's going to stop any TP attempt, though. And now Limp just basically has to accept death at this point. So great response from Vega Squadron. A 2-for-1 turn. Only losing the Crystal Maiden there.
Yeah, that's the problem with one of many problems that I've been citing for playing Enigma versus Kunkka. As soon as he gets the X on you, it's basically like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to cast your Black Hole for another 4 seconds. You just have to run around doing whatever, because he doesn't... Oh, Sioma gets Malefice.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Revenge is Enigma's.
Revenge. It's so sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
you
make
only get 179 gold. Yeah, so as soon as you cast the X, and like, you know, there's nothing you can do about it, and so you need to just blink in and hope that Kunkka's not anywhere near the vicinity, otherwise Jonas and Pan's just never going to get a Black Hole off.
God, Slark.
And he took it early. He took it, like, he didn't level up Midnight Pulse and all that business. He was just like, no, I'm going to be needing this at some point, but hasn't found it.
Yeah, wants to fight. Does have the Arcane Boots now, so again, rush that Hand of Midas. Arcane Boots to fall, so it seems like the idea that Guardian Greaves is becoming a little more realistic now, as he has that. Doesn't need to. I mean, could now go with the Blink Dagger if he really wants to. Keep an eye on that when he queues up here, but again, it seems like you and I both kind of agree that Guardian Greaves overall could potentially be the better route. Not that Blink would be bad by any means, but Shadow Blade pickup on Slark is almost here. 200 more gold basically, and he has it. So that's going to be good to have. Yeah, actually, back to Enigma real quickly. That talent tree, you got level 10, it's whatever, 20 movement speed over the magic resist, but the level 15 is where it gets really interesting to me, because 120 gold per minute, again, that's a lot of GPM there on top of the Hand of Midas. But 15% cooldown reduction is also pretty damn good for a lot of things. The Hand of Midas itself, the Black Hole especially.
I imagine that he's going to go for the GPM because he needs a lot of items. Now X onto the Clockwork near the Roche Pit. They get the... Oh, yeah, that's a dead Crystal Maiden.
There you go.
Like, if Kunkka... I mean, sorry, if Enigma really wants to be effective, like, he is going to need a handful of items supplementing his levels and all that damage that he can theoretically put out. Like, hell, he might even need, like, a Linken's just to deal with X, and then after that, if you have Linken's and BKB, then you're pretty safe from Kunkka. There's nothing you need to be concerned about, and that's probably more important than the idea of maybe going for more team fights, which is what cooldown reduction would give you, or more push, which is also what cooldown reduction would give you. Alliance want to be able to just take a fight and just wipe everyone out. You don't need to take these piecemeal fights. You can go for a Black Hole, and if you get it, then you need to win the rest of the fight. And if not, you're probably not going to be able to do very much in the next 2 minutes. What difference is 2.5 minutes going to make?
Very true. That Solar Crest. See how that worked out for the team. Prioritizing it here. Medallion picked up. Already for Jonas and Fan Limp. He's waiting around for that 14-minute bounty ring. Going to get that, though. And now he's going to look to finish that Vlad, since he does have the Blink Dagger, of course. And he's looking for Roshan. Oh, he bottles up the Illusion Ring. They're going to go bottom lane because we got to fight down here. The real you trying to get out, but the hookshot will stop the TP. And now Life dealing a lot of trouble. He'll infest the Siege Creep right here. And now you play the waiting game. What do you do? Yeah. Hey, you know, Life Dealer's like, what's the point? Why wait? Yeah, he was going to be hunted down anyway, so.
Yeah, his team just wasn't ready. Batrider does not have a TP, and they're taking care of business in the meantime. Sioma is, G is taking care of this Roche. Desolator's completed. And Lodo wants to challenge it. He has Shadowblade. Holy, he's going crazy
that was
aggressive.
a ballsy move. He has a magic wand as well, going to be brought back in. With Shadow Dance is up, though. In comes the Ghost Ship. Doing a lot of damage. Loda is going to be able to pounce away barely. Crystal Maiden Freezing Field doing work, but not enough to secure it. But he does stall Roshan, though, in a sense, despite going pretty YOLO right there. And bottom lane.
Allows to get nearly half damage on this tier 2, and they're still stalling this Roche.
Wow.
G doesn't feel confident going back in yet. Doesn't have the Blink Dagger, and so going in plain sight of this Radiant Ward, and Flare actually goes somewhere else. I don't know where Clockwork... Oh, he flared mid lane. Huh. I guess they're going to let this go now.
I don't know about that, Loda. We saw what happened last time. He's going back in. Shadowblade is going to try to steal it. No, it was picked up by G right there. G might fall right off the bat. He will, so they get the Aegis burn at least ASAP. Are they going to commit to a fight again? Bottom lane, they still have 2 heroes down there. Enigma and the Ursa are actually both down there still. Hanskin, though, he's getting caught. Nice torrent onto 2. Hanskin will fall. Loda on the run. Got some shots from a distance here.
Shadow Dance in 2 seconds.
1. Yes. No, he couldn't get it off. Shadowblade also coming up barely, but good chase by Vega. But again, meanwhile, the bottom lane, what are they? Enigma, they both had TPs. They're insisting on pushing this tier 2, though. And they're going to get it at least. Oh, Lim. No, he's not going for it.
G may be able to... The problem is he can't go by himself, otherwise he's definitely going to get a Black Hold. And he has no follow-up. So Jonas and Fan and Limp actually get out and didn't have to participate in that fight. They may have been able to get a little bit more, or they may have been able to save their Slark and their Clockwork if they did show up to the fight. But just the fact that you were able to burn off the Aegis right off the bat is good enough for Alliance. That if you lost the Slark, that sucks, but at least TA is not going to be rolling around with an Aegis for the next 5 minutes.
Got Ursa getting the flash just around the corner here. It'll be nice to have for them. And Solar Crest is going to be finished by Jonas and Fan meanwhile. So definitely some decent pickups coming up once again for the side of Alliance. Mentioned TA though. Blink Dagger. Gonna get it from the side shop over here. As he walks on by. Blink Dagger also on Bat Rider with that Infest Bomb ready to go. They're gonna smoke up even. Kill Loda. That's a prime target. They're going to go for it.
Real good.
Is the support close enough? It's not. Shadow Dance, not enough either. But Limp, he says, that was my friend, damn it. Bat Rider's going to get killed. Ghost Ship coming through. The rage is popped from Limp, though, and we'll end up being into a 1-for-1 here. Between the two. Definitely favoring for Vega.
He has Blade Mail and Hook.
There you go. They do get the catch on Crystal Maiden. The Rilliu, though, sitting nearby. Limp's going to be brought back. Torrent throws him in the air. Has some supporting cast. In fact, Lifestealer's the one that's now falling. Lifestealer's going to go down. The Ancient Seal helping to do work. TA, though, picks him off, and now he's going to take out Ursa as well. We got mid-wars action, baby. Jonas fans still looking for a black hole opportunity, but, again, he just can't find it here. Well, that was pretty chaotic back and forth. Well, even with Lifestealer going down, I think Vega Squadron definitely wins that. TA, man. She's starting to scale.
Well, the problem is that Ursa and Slark both died. And so they ended up only getting 1 core for the price of 2 cores. If the TA was also killed, which I'm not sure where Jonas and Finn was during that fight, like, because Solar Crest wasn't able to be used on anyone, and Templar Assassin was just able to pick off Skywrath without any fear of retribution because there was no black hole threat. And also, as a result, Kunkka was just able to spam X persistently on the Ursa. I saw him stay next to this tier 1 for like a good 15 seconds, despite definitely moving, but he was like on a treadmill pretty much. And so, yeah, he did not really get to move around in this because Kunkka had no one better to X. Now he'll X up Jonas and Fan and Clockwork. Nice.
Nice response. And the backlines actually avoids a torrent as a result as Jonas and Fan. And it gets pulled back in, but it doesn't look like the boat hit, honestly. So he's still running it. Has Black Hole going to be lasted right back in, though. Clockwork does go down. And the X brings him right back over here. He's just being pulled every which way, but Vega Squadron, they will get a couple of kills out of this. So, yeah, just not really here as a team as Alliance, and Vega Squadron definitely capitalizes with that. This TA, man, her net worth is really skyrocketing.
Yep. That's why the hero was so feared in Kiev. But Hanskin tried to sacrifice his life to save the Enigma. He went in for the hookshot to make sure that the X return into Torrent combo wouldn't hit, but, you know, Enigma's still going to have to come back eventually. It may not connect with the Torrent, but it'll come back into the hands of the Lifestealer and the TA, and you're seeing how irritating X can be for all of Alliance's heroes, and there's nothing they can really do about it. So, I mean, Loda might find Afterlife.
Poured out.
TP immediately.
Oh. So close.
Oh, if only that flare came like a second earlier, but yeah, they get out. And these failed picks are just going to keep on happening unless, okay, so Alliance are going for a smoke now. Don't really have any vision on any enemy hero, so this is a blind smoke.
Limp, he's leading the way with that smoke, but again, Jonas fan, it's almost like in hindsight, you kind of wish that he had that blink dagger now, because they could have maybe had a couple of opportunities. And I'm not saying you need to hit black holes to make the inning fit 100% worth it, but back wow, great catch right there. The silence into the Mystic Flare. That's where you see the potential of a support from the Skywrath Mage. Don't let that support title fool you. Can do plenty of damage. So great pick on a Lifestealer, and they're just going to transition into a top lane push here now.
Yeah, definitely. Ideally, you can get the Templar Assassin, but Lifestealer is a great consolation prize if you had to get one, and so that's the power of Alliance's initiation, assuming that they get to initiate on their terms, which, you know, despite it being blind, they still seize the opportunity and go in very quickly. And even then, you saw Kunkka reacting. As soon as Lifestealer went down, they all got torrented inside those cogs, and so, you know, it's a very delicate balance for Alliance to be able to go in, but also be able to get out.
In the middle lane of interest right there, but they will spread out to get more Farn. Ags being worked on by Ursa, by the way, and that's a interesting pickup here.
Yeah, he needs it. These lassos are going to be a problem moving forward. Slark can deal with it, but not so much the Ursa. And same thing, like, he's not going to be able to purge off the X, but he's going to be able to, you know, have a much shorter cooldown on his enrage, so if he does get X torrented, he can just, you know, sustain quite a bit of the damage, and once the torrent connects, he can also purge off the lift of the torrent / pseudo stun. So I can definitely understand why Limp is going for it, but problem is someone on Alliance needs to be dealing damage, and Loda, he's getting pretty good farm, but he's still way behind the TA because G has just been farming now mid lane.
He's trying to find some heroes here, yeah. Kunkka, he's not by himself though. Don't let that fool you. Mystic Flare's coming out. They will get the kill. He gets this combo off though. Freezing Field from a distance. Up on the side, TA is looking for an opportunity. Will lasso an Enigma. They catch him. Can they drop him fast enough? He gets a stun. Maybe a black hole. Midnight Pulse puts it down. He wants it, but he'll go down as TA are able to run away for the time being. And it seems like she should be able to make her way out of there. Numbers though does favor Alliance, but again they lost Enigma for 2 supports, and the rest will get out.
Don't know why Enigma didn't use his mech.
Oh, that's a good point. Did he have that there? Yeah.
Yeah, and he had the mana. Loda spots out Afterlife. Can definitely kill him.
As he open the pounce, the Dark Pact. Nice force staff timing. And now actually Loda's in trouble. No. Shadow Dance helps him get out at least. And supporting cast over here is going to make their way out TP. So you're right, though. That's kind of key. I mean, he was doing a lot right there at the very end, but not using your...
Yeah, because the reason he couldn't go for the black hole is because he would have been stuck in Firefly. And so, yeah, you'd be able to get the black hole onto the TA for maybe like 1 second, but then you were going to die to the Firefly. But with Mechanism, he would have been able to survive for much longer and probably been able to channel the full black hole. But, oh, he dies again.
Yeah, watching that happen, I mean, this Enigma pick, it's really kind of proving not to be all effective. And like I said earlier, you don't need to be landing big black holes constantly, but the fact that he hasn't even casted one at 23.5 minutes is just a little concerning. Yeah, they're going to push further in this bottom lane here. Lifestealer, the Yasha. Yeah, Lifestealer himself also went kind of an interesting build, a Maelstrom into the Yasha here. Didn't really talk too much about
that's
that.
True. It's, I guess he wanted some wave clear for Eidolons, assuming that Alliance were trying to push, but Alliance have not been pushing. Now, Ursa going in, hookshot connects.
Catch the Lifestealer, the Armatago not going to be enough right there, so great execution there from Alliance. Oscar needs to back off, Enigma's up in 1. And they could possibly go for more now.
Ursa has Blink, nice X.
Simon's already used his Ghost Ship, he got some shots. Ancient Seal coming out right there. The Arcane Bolt, Skywrath really trying to keep them both nearby.
He still has Shadow Amulet.
He's going to be spotted.
Oh, nice try.
Trying to hide right there. And it is cooldown reduction taken by Enigma, by the way. He just got level 15.
Really?
So yeah, he is with the CDR here. I mean, he has a lot of activatable items too, to be fair. So a lot of things that are being reduced.
assuming he chooses to use them.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm just messing with you, Jonas fan. Yeah, I can't say it'll be worth it until Alliance actually start either fighting or pushing. They need to do one or the other. Otherwise, really, you're just boosting your Midas cooldown, which is, you know, it's great and all, but I'm pretty sure 120 GPM still beats it.
Yeah. Well, Roshan just respawned right there. Right as Ursa was checking it out, so a little unfortunate with the timing, but...
Oh, Loda's going in on a bomb in the bot lane. He doesn't know this. Out comes Lifestealer.
Not yet, Shadow Dance. He's going to get
comes
the kill,
Lifestealer.
damn it. Yeah, he'll get a Lifestealer. Now pops out, but obviously damage is done, and Loda will avoid. I don't know what the waiting was for Lifestealer.
Yeah, because if Lifestealer had come out earlier, then I feel like Loda would have gone into Shadow Dance much sooner. But I don't know. They were hoping that the lasso would connect and then Lifestealer would get out, but Loda was on the aggressive, and there was no chance of a Lifestealer. I mean, there was no chance of a lasso not getting Dark Pacted off, and so they give up that valuable kill, and now Lions are going to take a Roche.
Yeah, no, Bat Rider, they missed out a strong initiation there, so not going to take the risk. And Axe is now finished on Ursa as well. You mentioned it's against the lasso especially. It's going to be great, and in general going to be a very useful tool, as he does have level 3 Enrage now as well. So 18-second cooldown on top of that. That's ridiculous with that Enrage.
Yeah, he's going to be abusing that, definitely. Even TA is going to lose some effectiveness because, you know, she's very burst-oriented, but if it's being mitigated by an Ursa, then Ursa will gladly take the fight as opposed to just running away if you're being melded and desolated. But with this very low cooldown, Alliance are in a good shape to start fighting. They have the Aegis. They have pretty... Slark completes the Lincolns. They have, yeah, pretty much all the resources necessary. And they smoke up underneath the trap.
Whoops.
So that is a bit of a problem. It's a smart trap. I actually don't see that trap very often, but that's a brilliant trap because that spot will almost never be sentried.
Well, let's go into place there because they definitely saw this, and you see their positioning as a result. So I kind of wonder if Alliance is like, wait, they must have saw it. Look at that scan too. It's like perfect.
Yeah. So even Lifestealer gets out scot-free, and now they might go for a retaliatory smoke, but yeah, you're going to be going into an Aegis, so it's probably wise for Vega Squadron to just play it cool for right now. And Afterlife also has a gem, so they're going to use this opportunity where they know all 5 heroes definitely went to the same spot together and get rid of some valuable vision that Alliance had on the north side of the map.
So Jonas fan, he's tired of not getting off black holes. He is going to queue up that BKB at least. He finishes the Guardian Greaves, but BKB will be next.
Yeah, and since Slark completed that Lincolns, he can actually put the Lincolns onto Enigma. So
oh yeah,
that'll definitely make life a lot easier for Jonas and Fan. Because between BKB and Lincolns, then you're guaranteed.
Oh, what is this over here? Silent?
You need both.
It's caught initially. Loda though can't finish the job. Shadowblade in though, has another pounce coming up, and he should be able to get this now.
Yeah, CM accepts her fate. She knows that might as well not.
Oh,
what a
hook! Gets caught. That's big. This is a huge kill if they can manage that refraction though.
Yep.
With the blink, and she will survive unless Limp. Limp has a blink. Gonna go for it, but even the BK. Okay, well, we'll take that.
10-second BKB.
Yeah.
You'll definitely take that.
Get that used there. So she's very evasive with all her abilities and obviously the items, but yeah, using a 10-second BKB. They're going to go elsewhere now. And Ursa is almost, not all, well, he's getting there. The Basher is coming along pretty nicely for him, too. Ideally, we'll have
it's
that
hot off the tails of that Scepter completion, so Ursa is definitely farming very well. G, it's still holding the crown, but, you know, if he has to spend BKBs unsatisfyingly like that, then the net worth advantage doesn't really show. And Alliance still have plenty of time left on this Aegis. They've got about another 2 minutes left, so ideally, they use it to siege, but Vega Squadron are creating pressure, so they may have to defend instead.
Top tower is under attack.
Slark up front. Mentioned that Lincoln's he has. Putting Dark Pack just in case. Seema's just hiding nearby with that Shadow Amulet.
I'm surprised that he went for this Shadow Amulet. I mean, he's completing it into a Glimmer Cape, I thought. He had a cloak queued up, but I don't see anything on the courier. But I don't know, I feel like Aether Lens may have been a little bit more effective because we're seeing how useful these X's are. And yeah, they may lose a little bit of efficacy, seeing as how Slark has completed that Lincolns, and, you know, Limp Scepter ult kind of helps against X, but not really, because it'll still complete even if you enrage. But Yeah, he's going for, I guess, like a suit. Oh, okay, no, he does finish the Glimmer Cape. Okay, so I can agree with that. I just was hoping he wouldn't go Shadow Blade, which is what his cosmetic would lead me to believe. But yeah,
All right. Knock on the Shadow Blade. Yeah, despite that pretty sweet cosmetic there. Enhanced Shadow Blade on him. Bottom lane, what's this? Silence just hiding down here. Silent chose to get that hand of Midas herself, but has the Ghost Scepter queued up. It's not bringing the most utility as far as support goes, unfortunately.
I'm not really sure why Alliance are pushing this bot lane. They already took the tier 2. You either push the top or the mid, because you still have Aegis, and I don't think you can take high ground right now.
Yeah, they seemed a little unsure. They are going to smoke up right here, and well, I guess they just simply want to go for the base. They do feel confident that they can go high ground.
I hope Silent uses Freezing Field on this creep wave.
Dire's bottom tower is
Gonna
under
do it to
attack.
cut them off.
Is he going to?
Yeah.
Radiant's
Yes,
top
I
tower
love
is
it.
under attack.
Okay, the problem is now your high ground's getting sieged. And
Uh,
Hookshot connects on the Lifestealer.
That's a big
Bash.
start. Kill him off the bat. He would not have a buyback. He's going to infest at the last second. He'll survive for the time being. He's inside one of the creeps right there. Can they find it? Meanwhile, Lasso on a clockwork. Brings it in. Not the prime target, but a target nonetheless. They'll take it. And actually the gem does drop, so that is a pretty good one at that when you consider that. And the Aegis has been reclaimed. So the hold is successful. They'll take a little bit of tier 3 damage.
Okay.
They get a life
Yeah,
pull
that,
back.
yeah, getting the gem is like the main thing. So wait, who did they put it on? They put on, wait, that red already has one. They get on the courier? Oh yeah, okay, it's just lying on the ground. Yeah, so that gem pickup is actually really valuable. Even though it was, yes, just a clockwork, being able to get rid of that gem off of Alliance is a big deal because they've just never been able to find any initiation with this Enigma. Like, yeah, that situation was kind of difficult because Hookshot was very deep. Jonas and Pham, as mentioned earlier, does not have a Blink Dagger, completed the Greaves and is now working on a BKB, but, you know, you're losing your advantage. They weren't even able to do anything with that Aegis successfully on Loda. Ideally, it was Loda that would get picked by the Templar assassin by going in deep, but Vega Squadron appropriately focused their resources on the guaranteed target, fight back that tier 3 push, and now Alliance don't really have a good way to push these tier 2s and tier 3s, which I would have thought that the Aegis was the best opening, but instead they wanted to go for high ground.
Notice Slark right there just got his Silver Edge finished, actually, so that's just to get the Adager's good against the likes of especially that Life Stealer here. As far as breaking, and actually has his own BKB now queued up, so we're going to start seeing a couple of those. Obviously, you have Ursa and that Enrage is with the Ags in a similar effect, so it's going to be a very difficult team to lock down as this game picks up here. If you're Vega Squadron, already lacking a fair amount on the lockdown as we start from the beginning, so that's going to make team fights difficult. But yeah, Enigma still 32.5 minutes. You know, a good point was brought up in chat. You won't have any crappy black holes if you never cast it.
True.
So.
You gotta put the finger to your temple and just say, can't miss a black hole if you never cast it.
There you go. Well, you know what's coming. You just win it, whether or not it's going to be a game-winning one or kind of a meh one. Loda?
And Sioma doesn't have detection, though, and so Sioma can just go into Glimmer Cape.
Oh, he wants Lifestealer, though. He's even going to try to get Crystal as she ports out, but yeah, he can't stop any of the TP.
Oh, wow,
so
Sioma.
they're all just going to blink away, or TP away, excuse me.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, Hanskin's hookshot connected onto neutrals.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops. That's big, because, yeah, they were going for Lifestealer for sure.
If they could have gotten the Lifestealer, that would have been pretty significant. Especially because now G is pushing top tier 2, and Loda doesn't have a TP, EGM doesn't have a TP, Clockwork doesn't have a TP, Enigma doesn't have a TP, Ursa has a TP, but he's just one hero.
He's a scary one. TA is also pretty scary, though. Level 25 already. Again, the +3 refraction instances, as we saw earlier. And the Bloodthorn is almost finished, actually.
Yeah, and Bloodthorn is going to be really valuable this game. Ursa is, of course, able to enrage off stuns, but you need to be able to cast spells to do that. And if you're silenced, you cannot enrage Scepter or otherwise when you're stuck with the Bloodthorn. So this is going to be a very, very important pickup for G. And especially because Ursa does not have a BKB yet. He's working on it, and he will need it, because then you can BKB and then enrage. But if you're stunned and silenced, then you're screwed.
escapes right as they're looking to jump him. Very slippery hero that Slark is. Sees TA pick up the illusion read right in front of her. Gets a BKB. Man, G is not afraid to just use this BKB ASAP.
Yeah, that is a skittish Templar assassin.
That's now 8 seconds with both of them again really just doing nothing essentially. As we've seen now, so Alliance, those are kind of minor victories that they'll take. What's overall a very even game, and yeah, I know it doesn't say at the top, guys. I'm not sure why.
I just realized that myself
Yeah.
as well, because I was about to be like, well, it's an elimination game. You gotta use your BKBs like that, and I was like, wait, is it an elimination game?
Yeah, no, this is it
Yes,
is a
Alliance is
1-0
1-0.
lead for Alliance. Yeah, so to clarify there. So I'm sure, yeah, it's usually we could just say look at the top guys, but no, for some reason it's not up there. But anyways, Alliance up 1-0 here in game 2. Trying to close it out here and advance onto the playoff stage.
Oh, find
That
Skyrath.
Rider gonna go in, catch a Skyrath as mentioned. Lotus like, I want to save you, but you're being pulled too far. So down goes Skyrath, and they'll fall back.
And another fortuitous Roche spawn for Vega Squadron.
Yeah, that's
It's
gonna
gonna go down fast.
Enigma just got his BKB. Let's go. Now's your chance. No, he's not gonna go.
This is the chance. Flare's gonna get vision, but everyone's too far away.
Is under attack.
Cheese and Aegis.
Immortality.
There you go. Cheese on the Lifestealer. Aegis onto TA. As how we'll see it spread out here.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And bottom left.
Lifestealer went for a Diffusal Blade, which I find interesting.
Yeah, he's going a very unique build. Manta,
Because
Diffusal.
Slark can Dark Pact it off. Ursa can in fact enrage or BKB, as Limp does now have BKB completed. Really, the only thing it helps against is Clockwork, and I guess killing off Skyrath, but I mean, do you really need help killing off Skyrath? So I'm surprised he goes for this Diffusal Blade.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah,
is under
that
attack.
seems a little odd. And again, especially the idea that
Dire's top tower
he is
under
more of a
attack.
strength-based. He is a strength-based hero, so it's just you're not going to get much of that synergy, of course.
I mean, the idea. Oh wow, gee, what a player.
X marks
Real
the spot
slick.
helps.
Yep. I guess the idea is that he had to go for this Manta style. Well, that was not the return.
He missed
He had to go for this Manta style to get rid of the Skyrath silence. And so he was like, well, if I have Manta style, might as well get some mana burn on top of it as well. And so, yeah, if he finds a target, it definitely helps him out in terms of the mana burn and, you know, a little bit of bonus damage with the illusions, which you needed the illusions regardless. I mean, you could have gone BKB as a lifestealer and just bypassed all of that. But I don't know, he finds more value in the Manta style, so be it. The only thing is that I don't know, it's a peculiar build, but TA is dealing enough damage for the two of them. As we can see, there's this whole zero threat push takes down the tier 3, and what's Enigma gonna do?
That's such a strong combo, man. That's,
Oh yeah, it's
Radiant's middle
disgusting.
tower is
yeah.
under
We've
attack.
seen some
Radiant's
fun
middle
tactics
tower
used
has
with X marks the spot throughout history, and it's just one of the more simple ones. You just simply send in your core. In this case, the TA is just so heavily farmed, and as you pointed out, there's really nothing that they can do about that.
Yeah, the only threat is if Skyrath gets a Yules, but Skyrath is a
true.
long ways away from getting anything. So there is really nothing right now that Alliance can do against that, and TA is going to find a double damage rune, so if that's not a recipe for a set of racks, then I don't know what would be. Is Aegis, Pike, X plays, G is very well protected.
That's actually a really good point about the Yules, because that has, I mean, they're already starting to see it now a little bit, and that's going to be something that clearly Vega Squadron is going to look to abuse, as mentioned. A Yules on the Clockwork even, who's now even going to Heaven's Halberd here instead.
That's true.
But figuring the good at Yules could be beneficial, or I was even going to say the Enigma, but he just got his Blink Dagger now, so is this it? Is this the moment? They want to stop. They're going to do some damage to him. He gets pulled back, though. Here we go, the Infest
Whoa.
Bomb. They catch Enigma, actually. That's the prime target, and he would not have a buyback, but it's not enough to kill him. Is he going to go for the Black Hole? He gets it off right here. He locks out TA. That is the big target that they want. Can they take him out at the end? The cheese out popped by Lifestealer, but TA is going to survive still with the Aegis. Okay, finally will go down, but the Aegis is popped. Clockwork, he's dead for 40 seconds and staying dead. Lifestealer, he's taking a good chunk of life right here. He has to be a little bit careful. He's going in, and he's going to fall, actually. Very ambitious time from Lifestealer. I guess he figured he was dead anyways at that point, but now Limp, he wants to chase. Can he get close enough is the question, and Rage is still good to go. Let me pull it back in though. Malphus comes out from Enigma.
Radiant's
Midnight
bottom
Pulse put
barracks
down, chasing after Seema, but now
Oh.
G jumps back in.
No,
2
go
shots of
Scepter.
Skywrath. However, the refractions are up, but now he's going to need to be careful as Loda's in his face. But Loda, maybe he's the one that needs to be careful. He's going to be brought back, actually, pushed up in the air by the Torrent, and Loda goes down on Slark. No buyback, actually, for 85 seconds or so. Now Ursa's limping away. He would not have a buyback himself.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I get it.
Dyer's
he'll
middle
live,
tower
though.
is under attack.
Range Rax goes down, and Vega Squadron went in much harder than they needed to. They basically took half the Range Rax with just G, and then they were like, well, okay, let's go for a fight anyway. Ghost Ship is going to provide a little bit of sustainability, but right now backdoor protection is enabled, and Slark is dead for 60 seconds with no buyback. So ideally they're going to try to force out buyback, but Slark does not have it, so it doesn't matter. And they're just going to go back to the, hook shot.
Yeah, the team support is really on point here for Vega Squadron. In fact, they are going to get Enigma again, but do they really commit to this? It looks like they want to, and is it enough? But KB is popped, and TA now has to be careful. Again, if he dies, he would be for sure dead this time. Granted, he has a buyback, but when there's no Aegis, they're going to lock down Clockwork, though. Torrent connects. Onskin just slowly walking away. The
Man, he wants to go for a big side blade.
This just
Yoda's a fan!
This just does not stop it right here. He's going to be pulled back in again. But again, why would Vega Squadron stop, I guess? They just can keep abusing this.
Yeah, now Lifestealer's going to be back in the mix. Take off that melee Rax. Nothing you can do.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
So they finally got what they came for, and now they're going to retreat. So, oof, an insane fight across the board. Again, the Black Hole, they got the one target you definitely like, but they were kind of busy with Lifestealer in the meantime, and the position was kind of funky. Vega Squadron just, overall played it very well. Really took advantage of that X marks the spot ability.
Yeah, I guess the thing that Vega was most concerned about is like, okay, we've shown this strategy like a good, 5 runs. It's possible that Alliance may try to get behind us, and then we're really screwed, because then TA is going to be deep inside the enemy base, whereas if Alliance go in through their jungle and flank the rest of Vega Squadron, then they're definitely going to lose a fight. So they decide to see they have an opportunity, and they'll just seize it. And the Black Hole does come out correctly onto G, but he had Aegis, so even if they did focus their resources on to the Templar Assassin, it would have only done so much.
Looks like Alliance was pushing a little bit right there, but in the end they decided not to go too far with it. Despite Black Hole and everything being up, they want to get some bigger and better items. Abyssal Blade would be a nice pickup here for Ursa, but again, both Ursa and Slark, they constantly would beat onto TA as he went in with that refraction, but especially with the +3 charges, he was bulky enough to sustain, pretty much taking no damage every single time that X marks the spot was used. So I know I was talking about the idea of the Yols before that, and you had mentioned it. It's they really could use that, man. As we move on in this game. But Lifestealer Bomb, yeah, they're going to catch Clockwork. He has a lot of support nearby, but they're going to kind of be forced into a fight, if anything. Loda going in with a Shadow Dance. Playing too aggressive, though. Now he's in a bad spot himself. Pops a BKB. He bounces out. Enigma still waiting for a Black Hole.
GM.
He's looking for it. He's going to get one off right here. Puts him in a pulse down. He loses his teammate in the Skywrath. But Loda's putting in the auto attack. Going to be able to take a Lifestealer at least. But G, with their refraction, still pretty bulky. Where's Ursa during all this? He's meanwhile dealing with Batrider. He will get the kill, but his teammates are dying. Loda is going to get picked off as it gets dove on, and now Limp has to be careful himself. It's a 3 versus 1 right here. Although Enigma comes back in. The Limp will make his way back to the base here, but Slarky staying dead for another 90 seconds again.
Yeah, and they still have the integral part of this combo, X up the TA, start dealing damage to this tier 3. I mean, hell, it's not even really necessary right now, it's just the Ursa, but lasts for 8 seconds, basically finishes off the tower, and they're actually going to back off, maybe scared of Handskin, counter initiation, but they still deal a fair amount of damage, and G just gets larger and larger. His score doesn't really reflect it. He's 6-1 and 7, but like, it's that one death that's the most important thing. G has been going, like, he's been through 2 Black Holes and a lot of attention on the Slark, but comes out on top every time.
Well, you got TA making her way back to the top lane now. Yeah, again, she's been level 25 also for so long, and she's been on top of this game. The Satanic now to follow suit, but the Abyssal Blade on Limp, it's soon to come as well, and that's definitely going to be a key item. And Slark, meanwhile, still trying to finish his own basher into the Abyssal Blade, but obviously a little bit further behind because of these back-to-back deaths here. In fact, Enigma has overtaken as the top farm on the team, and he is building a refresher, so as he will have the ability to get a couple of Black Holes off now in these fights as finally, it took a while to actually activate some initial black holes, but they've actually been pretty decent here, especially that last one.
OGD.
No black hole this time, though. 30-second cooldown. Ursa is going to be silenced out, putting the attacks on Elijah, doing plenty of damage with that. In rage, he got caught by the lasso after the fact, still mitigating a little bit, but that's going to wear off, and down goes Ursa. Down goes Skyrat, the freezing fill to assist. Hanskin, he's on the run. Again, Loda going back in, pops a Shadow Dance, but he's by himself now in the midst of all 5 of them. Don't know what the game plan is here, but it's to die. Well, that's going to work out. Sark, he's still running. Hook shot, trying to save the day, if anything. Afterlife still chasing, but Clockwork, of course, will let him falling, but
nice
Sark,
pounce block.
He needs to go. Yeah, the pounce block actually keeping him nearby. Another Darkback doesn't matter. Enigma with a black hole. He thought about it, but wasn't going to happen. He said, screw it, I got to make a play right here. Ursa did buy back, by the way. And Lifestealer may end up falling through this. Here comes the Lamp, but it couldn't get there fast enough. Oh, he already played to get closer. He gets a bash proc off the bat, but the Hurricane Pike over the ledge will survive. Lifestealer goes back in here on the toggle, and Ursa's going to fall with a dieback. That could be the beginning of the end here for Vega Squadron. GG, well played. We're going to a third and final game here.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah, this time Vega Squadron didn't give up. They didn't have as confident of a lead the entire game as they did in game 1, but this time they were able to get initiation, and that was the issue in game 1, that they were never really able to find it. In this game, I mean, hell, they didn't even need to use it. They could have just let that Siege Engine TA go ham. Eventually, Enigma did buy a Yules instead of that Refresher Orb, so it's possible that the strategy may have, started losing power.
Yeah.
But still, they got a lot of damage done on that bot Rax. Took the fight when they needed to, put Alliance into a deep hole, and then started shoveling the dirt on top of them and take the game. So tie up the series.
Not the most action-intensive game necessarily, but a grind out by both sides. But obviously, Vega Squadron does break through, and yeah, G on TA, very impressive performance, 9-1-10. But even that doesn't seem like it reflects exactly what he did that game, as you're talking about. So we got the game.